The best business ideas from more than 30 entrepreneurs. Now we're down to the final 5. 5 entrepreneurs with an idea. A business plan they'll present today for a chance to win $50,000 in prize money. All they have to do? Impress our judges. 3 of the most successful businessmen in Colorado. Who will walk away with the cash to fund their vision? We'll find out next on the UNC Monfort College of Business Entrepreneurial Challenge.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 5th annual UNC Monfort College of Business Entrepreneurial Challenge. Are you ready to have fun today? This is going to be a wonderful program. Over the next hour or so, we're going to introduce you to some very inspiring entrepreneurs who have come up with some very creative ideas. And I think you'll not only find them inspiring, but also very educational as well. They're competing for $50,000 total in prize money. $25,000 for the first prize winner, $15,000 for the second, and $10,000 for third place. It takes a very talented group of judges to pick the final winner this afternoon. And we're going to introduce our judges right now. Let me introduce you to Dick Monfort, who is a very esteemed member of our community. You have a familiar face as well. Spent 20 years in the cattle business, president of Monfort of Colorado. Went on to Conagra Red Meats. A lot of people know him, of course, as the owner and leader of the Colorado Rockies. Colorado native, 1976 graduate of the University of Northern Colorado. Please welcome Mr. Dick Monfort. Brad Cheadle is coming up next. 21 years of executive and entrepreneurial experience, 6 successful startups under his belt. His specialty is in finance, sales, marketing, product development. Brad is on the Dean's Leadership Council at UNC's Monfort College of Business. Let's welcome Brad. Thank you very much for your involvement today. And Chris Oden has over a decade of venture capital experience and enjoys working with early stage entrepreneurs as well. So this will be very familiar territory for you too. Chris helps lead Galvanize here in town, often speaks about entrepreneurial issues and finance at DU and the University of Colorado Boulder. He's currently a member and former president and chairman of the Rocky Mountain Venture Capital Association. So please welcome Chris. Our first finalist today that we want to introduce you is called 9 Power Clean Water. They take some of the dirtiest water that you can find in this country and give it new life, literally, and they're changing a lot of lives in the process. Let's meet one of the entrepreneurs behind this deal. His name is John Deal.
9 Power Clean Water is commercializing a unique way to treat oil and gas produced water. So oil and gas produced water is water that comes up out of an oil well along with oil. In fact, most oil wells generate somewhere between 3 and 40 times as much water as they do oil. And it's very toxic water. It's got remnants of oil and gas constituents in it, dirt, heavy metals, could even have radioactive materials. Treating the water turns out to be the biggest single expense in dealing with the water that the oil and gas industry has. This new product, Organic Clear, allows you to treat oil and gas produced water in a more efficient and cheaper manner. Generally, it comes up as this sort of nasty, black-looking stuff. It's got heavy metals in it. It's got oil and water constituents left in it. It may even have some organic matter. And so being able to take this and using a cheap system and treat it to produce this is pretty amazing. Every year, about 70 billion barrels of produced water are generated, and it costs the oil and gas industry $40 billion annually to deal with it. We've sort of got this embarrassment of opportunity here to help the industry all over the world. So for the first time, the oil and gas industry can do a better job than what's required by the government. And this treated produced water can actually become a source of new water. We call it found water. And it's water that you could use for crops, for agriculture, and even put into a community water system.
9 Power Clean Water. John Deal is joining me right now. Why did Los Alamos choose your company?
Well, you know, when the government decides that they want to commercialize taxpayer-funded technology, they're looking for a very solid team that they can depend on. And they're also looking for a really good business plan. And I think we offer both of those attributes to the team at Los Alamos. My group has been commercializing technology out of the Department of Energy for about 25 years. We've done 6 other startups out of Los Alamos, and so we're kind of a well-known entity. We also took a look at the global market and figured out how to take what is really some significant scientific advancements and put it into the marketplace in a few niches where we could actually make money off it.
I'm curious, could you use this in the fracking process as well?
Sure. And you know, the frac flowback or recycling frac waters is globally a very small part of the total amount of production water that's out there. It's less than 10% of the production water that comes out of oil and gas wells. But it's something that's really critical in certain areas, especially in Colorado, because we have a lot of water stress here. And so to the extent that we can recycle that frac flowback, we can reuse that water in additional operations, you know, we can offer the industry not only a cheaper way to handle it, but a more environmentally sound way to deal with those issues.
As you and I have gotten to know each other and talking a little bit about the business, you know, the oil and gas industry is just the beginning.
That's right.
A potential market. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, so OrganiClear is suited to treat water from a wide variety of sources, but the underlying sort of toxins that OrganiClear removes are anything that has to do with hydrocarbons or heavy metals, things like that.
So potentially a big market here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm going to let the judges get their crack at you right now, John. And Dick, we'll begin with you, and we'll let you guys ask some questions.
I think it's a great idea. So this is water that they use to frack, and then it comes out that color over there.
Yeah, this is an example of some water out of an oil well in Weld County.
Where's that water going now?
Well, there's a couple different places that it's going. One, it could go to an existing water treatment facility, and while it does clean the water up, it does so at a very expensive cost and in a way that's not environmentally sound. The other place that produced water ends up is down, back down a well, and that can be a disposal well, or it could be the well that they got it from. OrganiClear allows you to take advantage of the fact that you're mining oil and natural gas, but you're also bringing up a ton of water. And if you can treat that water cheap enough without disturbing oil operations, which you can with our product, then that means that you've got a whole new source of clean water right here.
But you can't drink that.
Yeah, sure you can. This is Weld County water. This came out of the OrganiClear system.
And you're going to drink it?
Absolutely. Tastes a little salty, but otherwise it's okay.
So I had just a couple of quick questions relative to the business plan that was presented.
Okay.
On the financial piece, I notice a very aggressive back-end ramp in revenue, and I also notice what I would consider to be a nominal $5 million raise to get the business off the ground. Can you help us understand how that math works?
Sure. So there's a couple things that are working to our advantage. One is that our team has done this repeatedly, where we've taken raw technology to market. So we really understand how to be economical in terms of paying ourselves and also paying people to help us produce our product. So we're really confident with our capital ask and achieving the revenue goals that we've got in our business plan based on that capital ask. Now, the revenue projections are based on not a percentage of the market, but literally counting units, OrganiClear units deployed in the field over the coming year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, based on our current book of business. And right now we've got about $25 million in proposals out there. So our conversion rate is about 10 to 1, which is, pretty average. But we feel good about that revenue generation capability. The third thing that we're relying on, quite honestly, is the fact that our suppliers offer us 30-day terms. So from the time we get raw materials and components in the door, it takes us about 3 days to build a system, deploy it, so that we can take advantage of merchant credit in order to be able to bootstrap this to the extent we can.
Let's get one last question. Chris, if you've got one.
So John, I think it's an awesome idea. Clearly lots of benefits. You and your team are uniquely qualified to execute on this given your backgrounds. I'm just curious, what would be the first customer, right? You talk about the kind of book of business.
Yeah.
Is there a small oil and gas field service company that you've identified that's going to try it in a limited fashion?
Yeah, we have a couple, and I'm not sure I can say them on live TV.
But is it a small field here in Colorado? Or what's the next step?
Here's the interesting thing. It's actually a trucking company in Colorado. right? They know that their business is coming to an end, that treating this produced water, not just moving it, dumping it down a well. So that's our first Colorado customer. In Mexico, it's a national oil company, and we actually have a couple demo units down there. The business in Mexico can make all of our revenue projections over the next 5 years just off that one site in Mexico. So our philosophy is to under-promise and over-deliver to our investors.
All right, let's hear it for John. John, congratulations, 9-hour plant. Judges, thank you. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to introduce you to a company that connects qualified lawyers and doctors to you, all via video chat. It's coming up next.
A good education inspires you to find answers. A great education inspires you to ask questions. At the University of Northern Colorado, you become part of the questions, the answers, and bringing education to life.
Welcome back. We just heard from a company that's helping clean the water used in the oil and gas process. Now we're going to introduce you to a couple of young entrepreneurs from Boulder who are connecting people to lawyers and doctors, all via video chat.
Congo is an online platform that enables clients to instantly connect with a doctor or lawyer and pay a low price per minute to video chat. It's important because in the current consultation industry, if you want to go see a doctor or lawyer, you have to schedule an appointment, wait for days. On average, it's 18.5 days in a metropolitan area. You have to travel to their office, sit in a waiting room, only to pay really high prices for the consultation. We're not trying to diagnose big diseases, okay? This is more for the simple questions, those questions that you would already be searching on Google. In fact, $125 billion is spent by Americans each year on purely informational office visits. So these are visits to the doctor where you're only asking questions. There's no need for a physical examination. The legal industry, that's $260 billion. You know, lawyers don't need to touch you. You don't really need to be in the same room. As long as you're face-to-face, that's basically the same thing as sitting across the desk from them. I'm gonna come look at what you're doing in a second. So we're focusing on these two industries initially because we feel that they really need a solution such as ours. But 6 months down the road, we plan on bringing CPAs onto Congo right in time for 2015 tax season. After that, veterinarians. And then really, we'd like to hear from customers. You know, what do you want to see on Congo? I'm excited. I'm really happy right now. We will spend like 13 hours in the office someday, but we won't be exhausted at the end of the day. We'll be energized, you know? It feels so great to create something, you know, and to accomplish the goals that we set for ourselves.
The name of the company is Congo. Willie Orgazali and Tyler Cox, partners in this venture. We heard from you, Willie, in the piece. We're going to start with you, if you don't mind.
Okay.
You came up with this idea, what, in the library?
The business library, yes I did.
Tell us about that.
So, I was reading a textbook for class, something I don't really do very often, so maybe it was meant to be. But I had a legal question, and being a young adult, I did what many young adults would do, and I Googled it. I looked it up online, because we value instant gratification. Unfortunately, I was appalled with what I found. I could not find a clear answer, and after about 30 minutes of wading through the sea of information, I realized that I was more confused than I had even started out as. So I gave up and I said, okay, this question isn't big enough for me to schedule an appointment with a lawyer. It's not important enough for me to go talk to a lawyer, but I want an answer. And it occurred to me right then and there. Here I am on my laptop. I got Wi-Fi. I got a webcam. Why can't I just video chat with a lawyer? It didn't make any sense to me. Why can't I pay a low price per minute to video chat with a lawyer for 3 minutes and get the answer to my question?
And the rest is history, so to speak.
And the rest is history. Here we are now. Yeah.
And here you are now, Tyler. So only a year into this, did you ever imagine you'd be up on a platform like this pitching for, you know, maybe 25 grand?
You know, we've definitely known this day was coming. It's we're just very passionate about the idea. Not only passionate, but we know the world needs a solution like this, and we're going to bring it to market. I mean, you say only a year, which kind of minimizes almost the time, the hours, the effort that's been put into this. Yeah, it's been a year, but there's been every single day, myself and Willie have been working on this. We've expanded our team. We've brought on experienced professionals who are also dedicating huge amounts of time to this. Yeah, it's been a year, but it's going to be an amazing next year as well.
Excellent. And Willie, you plan to be what's called one of the first benefit corporations
Yes.
in Colorado. Explain a little bit about that.
A B Corp. So, there's a lot of negative connotations with corporations these days. People say they're greedy, they only care about profit. That's okay. We think that it's possible to have profit and a purpose. We actually think that at Congo, we think it's the responsibility of a corporation to actually take care of stakeholders as well as shareholders. And we think that it's actually possible, if done correctly, to generate even more profits in the long run and make the world a better place.
Let's see what the judges think. Brad, we'll start with you this go around.
Great. So really enjoyed reading the plan, well put together. Does a good job articulating in my mind how you're going to market, but I have a difficult time seeing how you're going to operationalize it at scale. So if you guys could talk, when you're big, how does this work?
So just to clarify, scaling operations, how will we scale?
Yep.
Totally, because we definitely plan on scaling. So it's definitely something we need to put some thought into. So right now we're in the startup phase. We've been strategizing a lot. And there's a lot more thought that you didn't quite see in the business plan. We didn't want to give you guys everything. But as far as scaling goes, one of the main ways that we plan on being able to scale is anytime there's an operation that could potentially hold us back and hinder our ability to scale, we outsource it. We find a third party, a company that specializes in that exact operation, and then we pass the baton on to them so that we can focus on doing what we do best. And then in the end, we're very scalable, ready to scale almost limitlessly. And we end up with the best user experience because these companies specialize and they do a good job.
Chris?
You guys get style points for going after a $155 billion market opportunity. Makes John Deal's $40 billion look very, very tame by comparison. Putting yourself in the center of a marketplace where you've got your practitioners, your lawyers, and your doctors on one side, and then your customers, the folks that need help on the other side, is very valuable once you get there. Right. It's a little bit harder to build both sides of the market. Absolutely. I'm just curious, I noted in the plan you talked about kind of low cost or some free ways of raising awareness. What have you guys kind of thought are going to be some of the things you're going to try to build both sides of that marketplace?
I search a medical question on the consumer side of it on Google. Experts are doing the same thing. 90% of experts in these fields know disruption is happening. They know there's a paradigm shift happening in these industries, and they are waiting, not only waiting, they're looking for the solution. They're looking for a service offering to cling on to that really is about adding value for them and their practice and the industry as a whole. Yes, there's a lot of office visits that we can eliminate through being able to do it through video chat, but there's so many more that will stimulate by getting people the information they need to make an informed decision. We connect via pay-per-click advertisements. Obviously, the online setting is going to be key for us because that's where we are, that's where we operate. We can move from I need an answer to I'm going to use Congo very quickly because that is where they are searching for the information. We understand you don't build a huge company by using strictly free advertising. That's 100%. We're bootstrapping currently. But trust me, there will be big things. Sorry, I see you.
We're excited to spend some money on marketing.
No, yeah, absolutely.
Dick, we're going to let you have the last word.
Yeah, I thought your ramp up was pretty quick and that your sales go up pretty fast.
Right.
You got any, why do you feel why do you feel you're capable of that?
We totally understand that as investors, you see that and they kind of shock you because they are big numbers. But these are big markets we're dealing with. And frankly, we didn't just guess on our financials. They're based on competitive benchmarks. So we actually looked at competitors and what competitors with inferior solutions that these experts don't like, that the clients don't like, they were able to achieve these benchmarks. So we set our goals beneath these benchmarks because we're confident with our superior solution, we will be able to achieve this. And from the feedback we've gotten from experts and clients so far, it just reinforces that belief.
And regarding your ramping up, initially, our growth rates are larger because our client base is lower, but you see, the kind of growth curve, and at the end there it really takes off. That again speaks to the point where we're not just growing our services within these silos of these individual industries, but we're bringing on additional industries. It's not that I'm going to go to Congo and ask a medical question and not have a medical question ever again. I probably will, but the idea is we give them this user experience, we give them that value, and who are they going to go to when they have a legal question? Who are they going to go to when their pet's acting up? Who are they going to? Congo.
And back to marketing. Every time we release a new field, such as CPAs, it's a whole new marketing campaign for us, to bring people to our site.
Let's hear it for Congo. Gentlemen, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about an energy company that's working in the energy field to save them a whole lot of money at the same time. Logiloop's coming up next. Stay with us.
When I was thinking about coming to MCB, I was a little scared, but when I left, I felt good about myself, and I felt really well prepared for the workplace.
The school, I think, is an optimum size. Big enough to have a lot of opportunities, small enough to get genuinely involved.
The one building on this campus for all of our students to study in gives them an opportunity to really interact in a variety of ways.
Campus life is the absolute best. It's just so much energy and fun people, and our campus is gorgeous.
The students know one another. I mean, you see them in the hall, they're going out to lunch together. It's not I come to campus and then I go back, or I'm in a building with thousands of people that I don't know.
I was surprisingly shocked at the dining hall. Actually, it was unbelievable. I mean, the food was really good.
The atmosphere within the community on just your floor that you live on is great. You get to know everybody on the floor.
If you go inside MCB, I don't know, it just seems like it's a cut above. Not to be cocky or anything about it, but I do think that it's kind of a class of its own.
The classrooms are the perfect size.
Our average class size runs around 30 students. The faculty-student connection is extremely important.
Our graduate successes are our successes, and our reputation rides on what they accomplish.
I know that all of my faculty are putting in a good word for me. They're talking to the recruiters saying, hey, look out for Kara. And so I know that they're fully vested in helping me to get a job and that I'll be able to maintain contact with them.
I don't know of any other students who've come from other schools to our firm who have that kind of a relationship with their professors.
You know, I really got to know them. They got to know me when I was going through good times, bad times. They've become almost like a family. I spent more time with the faculty and at the College of Business than I did at my sorority house with my friends.
Our new dean has insisted that we need to have a professional experience component for all graduating students from MCB. It really gives a professional slant to the discipline. So I think it's great that we are able to do that.
We do have a significant number of students that study abroad, but this is one of those experiences that really can help to set them apart.
We have a senior level finance class called the Student Managed Investment Fund, and they manage a real dollar portfolio. $1.2 million is where it's at now.
Our investment class was competing in an international competition, and they took first place in the undergraduate competition.
Monfort College of Business as a Malcolm Baldrige Award recipient.
After I graduated from MCB, I felt really confident in myself, in my skills. I've had lots of advice from professors about how to network, how to connect with people, and they really try to integrate you into the networking and the professional environment outside of school.
Students are so well prepared. We've hired at least one student, one graduate a year for the last 8 years, and it's just a joy to have so many of them working with us.
The opportunity is immense.
You're pushed to another level.
They're gonna throw everything at you, but if you can weather the storm, the knowledge that you gain is it's priceless.
Welcome back, providing real-time data and additives to help conserve fuel. They're targeting the energy industry, the oil and gas industry specifically, and its desire to save a lot of money.
Logilube is a technology company that provides intelligence for managing one of the most expensive parts of the fracking and oil and gas drilling or mining operations, and that's fuel costs. So we actually manage the information of fuel consumption, fuel burn rate, as well as provide very accurate and reliable injection of various fuel treatments that could aid in maybe reducing emissions and so on. For instance, in the Wyoming mining market alone, they consume approximately 200 million gallons of diesel fuel a year. Now, at let's say $4 a gallon, that's $0.8 billion a year, and most of it's burned in probably 1 or 2 counties within the entire state. It's a lot of money. The end goal is to not only save money for the operator through efficiency gains, but also reduce toxic emissions from nitrous oxides and sulfur dioxides and carbon and soot and so on. We've seen savings of up to 18% on fuel cost. So if you took $1 billion, that's $180 million worth of savings. Secondarily, where it could really make a very big impact, particularly in our sensitive Front Range here, is reduction of emissions. And as we well know from the air quality standards that are rolling out, if we can contribute to a big reduction in emissions, that helps everybody. I've lived here on the Front Range for 17 years now and raised a family up in Fort Collins, and so I've watched firsthand the growth of the oil and gas development. To be a part of a technology that actually helps in the quality of life and the quality of air quality and environmentally, while supporting the oil and gas industry and the boom within this country, is very exciting. We're positioned to actually scale up to a fleet basis, and of course that takes time and capital to grow from 1 to 10 to 100 to 500.
And you're not scared?
Nervous, but not scared.
The name of the company. Bill Gillette is the man behind all of this. As we just heard, you have been involved in a lot of product development and a lot of startup companies as well. And you're not scared by this, but this is different.
This requires a lot more capital to actually roll out the product. So it's far different than some of my past ventures.
So tell us how you got in this business.
Well, I've actually been around here in the Front Range here for the last 15, 17 years, and I've watched the development of oil and gas, and I've seen the big fracking rigs and drilling rigs, and when I dug into it, I realized there's hundreds of millions of gallons of fuel being consumed, and unfortunately we see a lot of that in big plumes of black soot and smoke in the air. And so as I discovered, we could actually cut that down through the use of treatments and additives to make the fuel more efficient.
And in fact, you've got a beta unit going up in Wyoming right now, is that right?
Yes, we're actually constructing a beta system, this system right here actually, and it's going to be actually tested for 90 days in the largest coal mine here in North America.
All right. Well, let's have Chris ask you a few more questions about that and let the judges have a go too. Chris?
So, Bill, fascinating idea. Clearly, the opportunity to kind of save 18% of fuel costs is going to be a motivator for any coal mining operation. I'd like to talk a little bit about the capital expenditures that you need to put forth to kind of get from here to having that kind of trial running, and what does it cost you to get there? I didn't see anything in the plan that talked about your capital raise strategy.
Well, actually, the capital required to bring these products to reality is a lot of engineering up front, a lot of fabrication and pumps and housings and controllers. Then also there's a back end or an app side, a big data, predictive analytics side to this. So we've got app developers and server folks as well. So it's a combination of kind of a front end and a back end, hardcore fabrication as well as high-tech technology as well.
So it's a completely integrated service that you offer to the coal mining operation.
Yeah, it's a total turnkey operation.
Yep.
Why isn't all the fuel treated if we can save 18%? All the fuel that's used everywhere.
Actually, a lot of fuel is treated. However, the control of what the treatment is, what the additives are, is generally not left up to the customer. It may be from the fuel jobber or the supplier. In this recent past winter, where we've had several deep freeze cold snaps, there have been several oil and gas operations and mining operations that have been basically frozen out. One operation on the Front Range here in Weld County, 17 different drilling rigs were frozen because of the diesel fuel was not treated properly, and unfortunately the owners of those rigs didn't have control over that. So what we're providing with the smart fuel systems is the ability of the equipment owners and the operators to actually take control and manage the different additives and treatments.
So great idea. Really interesting. Looks like it could have a big impact. Obviously, distribution of this is going to be critically important. I didn't get a good, real backdrop on your marketing, sales related strategy. So if you wouldn't mind elaborating on how you're going to take this great idea and turn it into money.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking. In fact, just very recently, we've just entered into an engagement with a very large distribution company that currently they manage 77% of the surface mining operations in the country from a lubrication service perspective. So they have possibly, if you use the phrase, a Jiffy Lube on wheels sort of fleet of vehicles all around 3 continents actually. And so the addition of fuel management is a fantastic addition to their capabilities. So we've entered into agreement with them to actually carry these products into their market space.
All right. Let's hear it for Logic Fuel. Bill, great job. Thank you very much. All right, up next, what were you doing when you were 16 years old? I know, for some it was a long time ago, just saying, but were you thinking about starting your own high-tech startup? Our next business entrepreneur was thinking about that. We're going to introduce you to Omarone Entertainment. That's up after the break.
You'll know you're at the right university when some of your favorite people are also your professors. You'll know when you start learning because you want to, not because you have to. And when you realize you're not just the person you always were, but a new improved version of you, ready to take on the world. You'll do some smart things in your life when you choose the university that's best for you. The University of Northern Colorado.
Welcome back. The founder of our next finalist company is definitely causing quite the stir. He got a young start, and his latest creation is cooking up quite a lot of interest. It's called Short Order Slam. It's actually a game in the mobile space. This is just the beginning for him.
The name of the company is called Monfort Entertainment, and it's this really cool smartphone gaming company. I started when I was just 16 years old. So right now we're building this really cool game called Short Order Slam, and it's this amazing game that encompasses, the farm to the factory to the table. It's the 3-prong system for the restaurant cooking, and so it's a really cool game that encompasses everything that we thought would make a really, competitive game, an addictive game, and all these really cool things. So when Steve Jobs passed away in October of 2011, it really got me thinking, here's a man with all this money and wealth and influence, and even he wasn't exempt from the rules of death. So it got me thinking, hey Raj, you got to start something now. And 3 weeks later I did. This game is really just to get the company's foot in the door, as far as the whole entire market goes. And then based on the success of this, hopefully it'll be a success, we'll be able to take that money and build more games and add to it and upgrade it and make it better. You're looking at the entire graphic design team and website team. It's just 2 people. Oh, I have the time of my life doing this. I mean, my partner and I, sitting down and then just talking for hours about ideas and then just bringing that to reality. And then a few months later, click, it's out there for everybody to see in the world. That's the coolest thing.
Raj Reddy is the founder of Omarone Entertainment. So how did you come up with this whole concept?
Yeah, it was funny. I was standing in line at King Soopers actually, and I was really bored and I was having kind of a bad day. And the cool thing about that was my mind for some reason drifted back to Mary Poppins and this quote where in everything that's to be done there's an element of fun. And so I put 2 and 2 together and I knew there was something here. And so I just kept designing it and refining it, and eventually that became Short Order Slam.
Explain how it works.
Well, yeah, I saw the whole belt coming down on the conveyor belt at King Soopers, and then I sort of, hey, this is kind of a fun thing to do in real life. It could be fun to do digitally as well. And so I sort of sat down, I designed sort of a really just sketch on printer paper, and then I changed that up to be a graphic, and then it kind of, every piece started falling together.
You plan to sell this not only here in the United States, but you've got big ambitions. 46 countries is where you'd like to distribute this.
Yes, yes, and then the cost to distribute those countries is pretty low, considering it's just translations. And then Apple does a fantastic job of getting you into different countries.
So you're fairly young, I would say.
A little bit.
Is that a hindrance at all, or is that a positive thing for you?
I think there's not a better time to start a company. You know what I mean? I think when you're in high school, when you're in college, life can become a little simple, and I want to do something I knew I couldn't do, and then go and find out if I could actually do it or not.
And you talked about this in the video, that this is really just the beginning for you.
This is just the beginning. We got some great ideas we're cooking up.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about that. Dick, I'll let you take it from here.
So, as Greg mentioned, I'm one of the old guys around here.
Sure.
And so I'm not much of an app guy, but as I understand this, you give it away free for a while. It's a free app, and then when you get to a certain level and you get addicted and you want to go to that next level, then you start charging them. Is that the way other games do that?
It's moving towards that rapidly. The thinking behind that is that you can give a game away for free and then give a little bit of a sample of the game for 15 levels, which we have, like you mentioned, and then get them to pay the 60 levels, which is what's remaining. So it's just getting them hooked with our first sort of sample, and then getting them to buy into the rest of the game. So I think that's an easier way, because again, the customer acquisition cost will be basically free, because it's a free download up front.
So it seems like a really competitive space, a lot of games out
Right.
there. There's some international nuances in your plan.
Yep.
How do you, as a company, think about differentiating yourself, not just in the game,
right,
but in the app store,
sure,
to get more people picking this up?
Right. Well, I mean, we pay attention to everything, starting with the name, starting with the way the game works, everything about it. So when you go to competing games and the huge game market that's there, the one thing that helps you more than anything is having a really great game. If you build a game right, the game can even market itself. And I guess the key to game development that takes years to learn is that you have to build a game that makes people angry. You know what I mean? You have to build a game that they want to keep coming back to and like keep, I just want to beat this level, to the point where eventually, okay, here's $1 times 400 million people who have these devices coming, and with Android and Windows Phone as well, 700 million, approaching 1 billion soon. So that's sort of the idea here.
I'd like to commend you for attracting great investors and advisors like Kurt Richardson. I think that's kudos to you as you're just getting going.
Well, he's an incredible guy. So
I think the gaming space is clearly white hot, right? Candy Crush King is going public tomorrow. Angry Birds, we could go on and on and on.
They're the best.
I guess the gaming feels a little bit like the hits business to me, right?
It is.
Farmville
it
was
is.
awesome and everybody was playing it. And now
exactly.
I'm sure there's still quite a few people playing it, but less so.
Exactly right.
So I'm more interested in, let's assume this one is going to be wildly successful. Short Order Slam is going to be fantastic. You guys are going to kill it. How do you create that culture and business of generating the next great games?
Well, actually, I mean, we haven't even finished our first product, and I have 29 ideas that I want to build. And I keep these all just in the list on my phone. Just every time I think of them, I pull it out and I write it down. So I mean, this cooking game is all about, sort of starting at the farm and the factory levels. For example, this is actually a screenshot. And for those of you wondering, this is not the iPhone 6. This is just a screenshot here. So it's not going to get that big yet. But I mean, the idea here is that you can see just, it's just ingredients that we made up and things that we built. I mean, I could completely see, Subway's logo in here, Chick-fil-A's logo in here, whatever it is. This whole game is about farm to factory to plate, which is something you kind of see every time you walk into Safeway, King Soopers. The first thing you see is that sign that says local ingredients from a farm within 50 miles of Denver, you know what I mean? And so subconsciously, this game is teaching people the idea of what it takes to bring a meal all the way to your dinner table. And so as far as expansion goes, I mean, food's pretty plentiful throughout the world, at least a little bit. And the idea to change that with other, restaurants and other companies, that's sort of the future thing we want to go to. And so, I mean, we can always think of more food, or we can use real food. And so that's the thinking behind the game.
Judges, we have time for one more question. Anything else you want to ask?
I got one. What, your pro forma is pretty standard. I mean, what is your finance background? Do you have somebody in there that's going to help you with that, or?
Yeah. Well, I'm 18 and a freshman in college, so I'm not a PhD in finance yet.
Right.
So the cool thing with our shareholders, which is Blue Ocean Enterprises, is that they're going to take care of the legal, they're going to take care of the accounting, they're going to take care of the finance for us. All we have to do is bring the product, which we've been doing for 2.5 years, and then we're ready to get it launched just about in early May.
Cool.
So.
All right. Let's hear it for Raj.
Yeah.
On our own entertainment.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Thank you. All right. Up next, a new way and a personal way to give a gift, all online, as well as an experience. We're going to tell you how Tabrific does it after the break.
The Masters in Accounting program is a program that was put in place to help us with providing the students the extra credits that they need to sit for their CPA exam.
The Master of Accountancy is for people who are looking to take their academic success beyond bachelor's and just learn more about accountancy in particular.
I changed my major when I was a sophomore to accounting, so I felt really far behind, a little stressed, and it turns out I actually finished the whole master's program in 4 years. It really has proved beneficial for the CPA exam. I've been studying for that all summer, and it is amazing how much I've been able to recall from my classroom lectures and professors and apply it to the CPA exam.
All of our undergraduate accounting majors that plan on becoming a CPA will flow right into that master's program.
The best part of the whole program to me was the fact that I was allowed to be an undergrad one semester and also concurrently taking the graduate courses. So I was doing both in one semester, and I was able to knock out the whole master's within the year.
I stayed at MCB to do the Master of Accountancy program because I knew it would be a really intimate environment, and I wanted that focus in graduate study because I don't want to go to a university where I'm just a number.
The small classroom size and just the relationships I was able to build here particularly are better than any other college that I could have chosen in Colorado.
I think the main emphasis of our MAC program, and one of the distinctive factors, is that we really try hard to incorporate an internship.
Whether or not you want to go into public practice, or you'd like to work for a large corporation, or if you'd like to work for a small corporation, there are a tremendous amount of opportunities for the accounting students coming out of the Monfort College of Business.
Since we've created the Masters in Accounting program, several accounting firms, both in the state and from outside the state, have come and onto this campus now to recruit our students that weren't recruiting them before. But in addition, many of the accounting firms in the state of Colorado have our alums, and those alums are very excited about seeing the Masters in Accounting program and seeing the students that are coming through it.
The graduate program really gives students more opportunities, allows them to compete for jobs all over the country.
We've gotten more recruiters than we've ever had before. We are recruited by the major Big Four accounting firms in accounting. We haven't had any trouble placing our students, and all of them have gotten jobs.
Getting the master's degree has made me a marketable candidate to a ton of firms and private industry companies.
Even though I've just started the Master of Accountancy, I already have a job offer from a public accounting firm in Denver.
We have a great core of students. We do a great job of educating them and then placing them into real professional career jobs.
Making last-minute gift giving as well as an experience a very easy thing to do. It's the goal of Tabrific, where everything is terrific.
Tabrific allows consumers to create unique gifted experiences, uniquely created by themselves, and personalized for their gift recipient. Basically what that means is a user can come online to our platform and tailor a gift experience of their choosing, whether it be associated with a product, a place, an event, or an idea, and basically tailor it to their liking and to the liking of their gift recipient, and send it securely via email in the form of what we call a tab. So basically, let's say I have a friend and his birthday is coming up, and I decided that I want to craft a brewery tour experience for him. What I would do is I would go to tabrific.com and I would start with a blank canvas. The first thing they would do is attach an image. Then, furthermore, they have the option to create any message that they want, whether it be text message, recording a video or audio message.
Hi Sarah, I'm not going to tell you that there's lots of fish in the sea right now because there's only one fish that's important, and that's you.
Basically highlighting the special occasion. The third step is attaching a fund. The beauty of using Tabrific is they're not confined to pre-built packages with predefined price points. So let's say, for example, the Wine Crew Brewery Tour would be the first stop downtown, and maybe Flying Dog would be the next stop. And when I'm done with that, I can review it, make sure it looks good, and just send it via email. So the beauty of using our platform is you have a lot more flexibility, and you can take into consideration any experience that you want to create rather than being pre-confined to these pre-built experiences. I would consider Tabrific a success if we've got a great user base, people that are happy to use our product, people that are giving us great feedback, and finally just having a central office where people are fostering new jobs and new opportunities.
Tabrific's the name of the company. That was Carl Trung. This is Carter Trung, your brothers.
That's correct.
So what's it like working with your brother?
It's great. You know, we've known each other for a long time, so we know how to work each other. So
I guess you have. Yeah. A family business. Tell us what makes this service different from others that may be out there.
Sure, you know, so what we're really trying to do is bring experiential gifting to the masses, right? Right now there are about 4 key sites that sell experiential gifting, hot air balloon rides, race car drives, and the average price tag of an experiential gift is $265. What we're really doing is we're saying you can come to our site, decide what your price point is, and then create an experience that's appropriate for that.
All right, and you've actually done some alpha testing already. You've completed that stage, and you did a little shifting as a result of that. What did you learn?
That's correct. So we alpha launched last year, and we launched last year on the position of disrupting the gift card industry, the gifted funds industry. When we launched, what we found was that our testers came back and said, what you're doing is interesting, but it's not what we got excited about. We had built in a secondary feature into the site that if somebody didn't know where they wanted to gift to necessarily, they could create some sort of experience. So for example, one of the users said, I want to send my favorite couple on a date night so I can provide funds to send them out to a movie, dinner, and then pay for a babysitter. And so we said, if that's what people are excited about, let's reposition and focus in that area.
So you've listened to the market.
That's
Where
right.
do you think you're going to be in a year from now?
In a year from now, we're going to be publicly launched, and then we'll be driving out our customer acquisition plans, building up our consumer database, and having fun with it.
Are you having fun now?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see how much fun you're going to have with the judges.
All right.
Brad, we'll let you take the first crack here.
Thanks, Greg.
Yeah.
So interesting concept. You know, the power of choice I think is exciting. Did a nice job on your business plan.
Thank you.
Have questions about your revenue. There's a gigantic hockey stick at the end of the production where it launches, you know, in the millions to 6 million to 100 million. Can you describe kind of your thought and formulation and why that is even possible?
Sure. So what we did in developing our projections was take the product development lifecycle into consideration. We used a formula of that. So in the first couple of years, it's more about the growth stages, and then or the development stages, and then it goes into growth. When we developed that, we also wanted to make sure that we were being realistic, right? So what we did was we took a look at the market research that we had, we started talking to consumers, and then we started saying, if we want to hit these numbers, how are we going to actually concretely get to them? And so we spent a lot of time thinking about the customer acquisition strategies for our organization. And there's 3 different areas that we're planning on heading down to make this happen. The first is direct consumer engagement. So our team has a strong background in working with large organizations, Coke, Nike, Microsoft, in terms of building advocates for them. The other thing is the brand advocate piece of it. What's special about what we're doing is that our site is innately social. And what I mean by that is a person gifting a gift is basically recommending to somebody else to be using our site, right? And so within that, we want to take advantage of that momentum. So not just focusing on direct consumer engagement, but saying, hey, we have these people that are out there sending tabs to other people. Let's identify the ones that are on top tiers and spend some money encouraging them to continue to spread the word for us. The last piece is just because we're a consumer company doesn't mean we can't take strategic partnerships into account in terms of how we grow the business.
Very good. Chris?
Awesome idea. I love it. I want to sign up to use it. I'd like to talk to you about if you're raising capital. But my question is really on the level of integration that you have to have with the establishment that's going to redeem part or all of the tab.
Sure.
And how does that work? And can I, when I go in to purchase one for my wife or friend, can I pick one from any merchant anywhere, or do they have to be in your system already? Just talk a little bit about that and how it would roll out.
That's a perfect question. Thank you for asking it. So in the beginning, we spent time figuring out whether we wanted to launch with merchant involvement, consumer involvement, or just do both at the same time. What we found is both at the same time was too confusing for the consumer. There are companies out there right now that have saturated the B2B market of this, right? And so what we decided is that there's nobody in the consumer space that's addressing the frustrations that currently exist. So there's a huge opportunity there. So initially, we're leaving merchants out of the equation. So what it is if you come on, you can gift an experience, but you're basically doing it based on a recommendation. What that does is it allows you as the gift giver to provide something still thoughtful and memorable that's tailored to who your gift recipient is, right? But it gives the gift recipient the freedom still to upgrade, downgrade, or change the experience, which is something that they're looking for.
Dick, last word.
You know, in your business plan, your operating expenses during development are $25,000. With no revenue, of course, and then in the first year, your revenue's $35,000, and your operating expense is $1.1 million. It seems like a lot of operating. You taking a big pay raise, or what's going on?
No,
here?
Definitely not. And rather, what it is what we're trying to do is for us to be successful. I think what we really need to do is drive awareness and be able to scale the organization, right? So. Yeah, there's going to be salaries that get paid out, but they will be discounted. And it's more to drive customer acquisition and awareness, as well as hire a development team so that we can start to scale out the other features within the site and operational costs, right? Because we know that as an organization, launching in beta in our initial products, it's going to be exciting with what we're providing, but we have other product developments that we want to roll out to continue to make the site even more sticky.
Tabrific. Carter, thank you very much.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations to you. All right, the time has come, judges. When we come back, we're going to find out who the winners are of our cash prizes. Stay with us.
The MBA program at the University of Northern Colorado is a new program. We're excited with the chance that we can take our stamp of success on the undergraduate program and translate that into our master's program.
Our MBA program is going to be designed for professionals.
We're going to be in person, very flexible, mainly at night for those working professionals who are looking to enhance their professional careers.
This is an opportunity that a lot of people have been waiting for. It's going to be a great moment for the Monfort College of Business to give back the knowledge to the local community, especially to professionals who work around Greeley that don't have an opportunity to go to school in other places.
The MCB program at Centera is just geographically more attractive for the type of students that we believe will be able to take advantage of this program.
When we were designing the MBA program, we first of all thought about having it on campus. And then we realized we had a wonderful opportunity to use the facilities here at Centera. It is centrally located within Weld County and Larimer County. There's over 500,000 people.
The corridor right here on 34 and I-25 is a place that's very convenient and allows students and working professionals to be able to come to us with easy access.
The Monfort College of Business has a very deep sense of collegiality.
The professors there are all very involved. They are up, they're relevant, they're current.
We want to formulate a culture and a reputation within the program that everything we're doing is about application to what they can use in their own professional settings. For me, it's a facilitation of here's what I've seen, here's what I know the research says, what do you think, and what's your reaction based on your experience as a student? And then we jump in and have great, deep conversations to bring the learning alive.
I always tell people I'm one of the luckiest people to have the job that I have, because I get paid to learn. I get paid to research. I get paid to bring that knowledge back into the classroom. I enjoy teaching graduate students because they challenge you. And they realize that they're not just going to take a pat answer. They're going to try to figure out why you said what you did. You're going to find the people that teaching these classes are going to be engaged, and they want to be here. They want to be teaching at the graduate level.
Every single faculty we have in College of Business, they really care for the success of the students, and they keep contact with them even after they graduate.
An MBA is going to further your career. I think it'll fast track your career.
Getting an accredited MBA from an AACSB school is really worth something.
There is no question that getting a master's program has advanced my income potential and my potential for hiring. It's a good investment for 2 years or 2.5 years, and the return on investment is tremendous.
Welcome back. This is where the rubber hits the road, so to speak. We're going to announce our cash award winners here in just a moment, but I want to get some final words from our judges. So first of all, judges, give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. Dick, Brad, Chris. Dick, let's start with you. Any final words for our finalists?
I thought they were all great. I got to tell you that reading your business plan, I got confused a lot, but you did a very good job of presenting today, and I think I understood them all, so you did a great job.
That's great. Brad?
So echo the words, great job to everybody. There's obviously a lot of enthusiasm in the rooms. It's exciting to see folks like you that take a chance, take a risk, put yourself out there, put your money out there, willing to sacrifice a lot of things. So wish all of you the best of luck. It's a great career choice. I'm very excited for you guys.
It is a fun career choice, isn't it, Chris? You know that firsthand.
I think entrepreneurship is ageless, as this group proves, right? We've got younger entrepreneurs, older entrepreneurs, more seasoned entrepreneurs, but the passion is shared across all of you. And I found the way that you guys parried the questions from the judges to this today, and the presentations were really solid. I appreciate it.
Very solid and difficult choices to make here. So I'm going to begin with our third place winner this afternoon. So coming in third place, Congo, winner of $10,000. Congratulations to you. That's fantastic. All right, in second place, and this is very close too, second place, Tabrific. $15,000, gentlemen. Congratulations to you. There can only be one winner this afternoon, and our winner for this year goes to 9 Power Clean. 9 Power Clean and John Deal, $25,000. Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So what do you think?
Very much. Wow, as a repeat offender, not a serial entrepreneur because I don't do breakfast foods, but as a repeat offender and having done this a lot, I got to tell you, this was a great process. And it forced us to be disciplined and to be ready and to really put a good foot forward, which is really, quite beneficial to our business.
So what does the money mean for you at this stage?
Well, it turns out that the money is in a crucial part for us right now because we're in between our angel round and our first real institutional round. So it kind of means survival of the business. And it turned out that just the luck of the calendar and our spend and everything we're doing, this $25K turns out to be really important to us.
So we're going to come back and talk to you a year from now. Where will you be then?
Well, I hope that I'll be helping coach one of the Monfort finalists next year because I'd love to be able to do that, to come back and be able to do that. But I think we're going to have our hands wet with water and dirty with oil. And I think we're going to be dug in pretty far into the industry.
And some clean water as well.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
This is a very special business to you as well. We talked about that a lot earlier today. And what does it mean to you to be able to continue to move this forward?
Well, I got to tell you, every time you decide to commit yourself to a venture like this, it kind of affects your whole life. And at this point in my career, 50 years old, I'm at a point where I want to do something that's about more than just money. And I see this as an opportunity to help environmental causes in the U.S., to help the oil and gas industry do what they really want to do, but they can't really afford to do right now. And just as importantly, to provide a new water resource all around the world for people that really need it.
So in talking to the judges, there was a clear winner this afternoon, although they were all fantastic. Any final comments for John?
I think, John, the unique qualifications that your team has to execute on this vision, which is both an economic and a sustainable one, resonated with us.
Well, I appreciate that. And, we've got a really good team. And the fact that you can see that promise in us means everything to us because you guys are pros. So we really appreciate that confidence in us, and we won't let you down.
Excellent. Last comment, anybody? Brad?
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Great job. Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you very much, John. And I also want to point out to all these companies here that participated that you don't have to be a winner to be a true winner, because a lot of connections and relationships that are made right here as a result of this contest will go a very long way. This was the 5th annual UNC Monfort College of Business Entrepreneurial Challenge. We hope to be back for a 6th year, right? Absolutely. Let's give them one more round of applause. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll appreciate it. Bye-bye. Great job, everybody.